We're live, books and beer.
Alright. Hey, Zach, how's today?
Today's good. It's a great day. I'm having fun today. Got this jazz music in the background. It's good.
And it's Monday. I mean, like, we recently shot on Friday, but we had some time today, so we're doing it. Yeah, it was an okay day. It's the new year.
Happy New
Whatever.
Year.
But hey, we're drinking. We hope you're drinking on a Monday. Hey, I'm drinking Stella Artois. I was introduced to this when I was, I think, 18, 19? And it's a very nice, crisp beer. Absolutely.
I'm not drinking beer tonight.
No, no,
Actually,
no.
I'm drinking wine.
Mm-hmm.
Some red wine. I know the show's called Books and Beer, but it's Monday and I don't like to drink beer, so cheers to that.
It's Monday. He said that he doesn't.
Don't like to drink beer on Mondays. But tonight we're talking about Principles
Yep.
by Ray Dalio,
Mm-hmm.
Bridgewater Capital,
Yes.
world's largest hedge fund. I read this book over a year ago.
Uh-huh.
Not over a year ago, but a few months ago. And it's a good book. Was there something you wanted to say before we began?
Well, I was just saying that, like, once again, we're doing, like, this program where we're going over a bunch of how books can improve your life and help you lead a better one. And we're talking about this one because this is one of the books we're going to go over. We'll probably go over many of these while we work on the project.
Yeah, so I think this book is very good. Ray goes through his career at Bridgewater, and he talks about troubling times that he's had in the 1980s, where he had to lay off his employees and almost went broke. And so, through that pain and reflection,
Yeah.
he's became the man that he is today.
Uh-huh. And that's something I guess if I could just quickly say where a lot of people underestimate the fact that if you know any managers that have fired someone, there are few sociopaths in the office that enjoy that. I know a lot of people and they said it was like the worst day of their career when they had let people go.
Right. I believe Ray talks about that as well, like how he was crushed about it. Can't recall 100%, but he does talk about it. He mentions that it was a tough decision that I had to make.
Yeah.
It's other people's family. But the book is called Principles, and it's about developing principles for your life,
Which is cool.
work, business,
Mm-hmm.
for everything, but mainly for your life. And then he talks about work as well, applying it to work. So his main thing at Bridgewater and his main thing throughout the book is being radically open-minded,
Okay, cool.
radically transparent.
And what does he mean by that exactly? What can you tell me about that? Because when I actually hear like radically mindedness, I actually I hate to say it because I'm a creative type, but I think that's threatening.
So
I think if you just say anything goes, like absolutely anything, radically open-minded, I don't know.
he's not saying anything goes, but he's saying be open to the idea of others.
Okay.
So
Okay.
many people think, in my opinion, many people say like, "Oh, I'm an open-minded person," and immediately when somebody says that, I kind of think like, "Okay, probably not."
Yeah.
You're open-minded to an extent to where somebody agrees with you,
Exactly.
until it's not your opinion that you agree with.
Yeah.
But at Bridgewater Capital, one of Ray's main principles is to be radically open-minded and to say you might not be right all the time, and these other people might be right. That goes for investments.
Yep.
That goes for personal life. That anything could happen and anything could be possible.
Yeah.
And to be open-minded to that. His other thing is to be radically transparent.
And this is cool. Tell me more about this, because I heard that, and radically open-minded, I was like, okay, that sounds good, but I'm not 100% sure. But the transparent thing, I feel like that's what we would want from Bridgewater. So it's good to hear that's a major concept over there. But go ahead, and what did he have to say about it?
So he talks about radical transparency leading to meaningful relationships.
Okay.
And
Uh-huh.
also being radically transparent, embracing this culture or instilling this culture into the people that work at Bridgewater allows them to not be afraid of speaking their opinion. Perhaps some other people that they have worked at some businesses before and they had some ideas, but they were afraid to speak up in fear of being fired, in fear of being ridiculed,
Yeah.
in fear of maybe somebody else taking their idea
Uh-huh.
as well. But at Bridgewater, they created this culture to where you can be radically open-minded, radically transparent.
Yeah.
Radically transparent, and you should have a radical open mind.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever worked for a company like that?
I know I haven't.
No. I don't know. Like,
I would like to.
Yeah.
Because a lot of things that Ray talks about in the book, I believe that I have those qualities.
Uh-huh.
So I really enjoyed reading his book. Some other things that he talks about, what they do at Bridgewater, they require everyone to take a Myers-Briggs personality test.
And this is really cool. We talked about this recently.
Yeah,
Tell me more about it.
Talking about creating a culture, and then okay, so what are your unique strengths? What are your weaknesses? And let me back up a little bit before I start talking about this. He also talks about being extremely objective.
Mm-hmm.
Being objective with a problem, being objective with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people they are not. I mean, I guess maybe that goes back to radically transparent.
Yeah.
Because they're not honest with themselves about
Uh-huh.
that's my strength or that's my weakness, and then they keep on fooling themselves.
Yeah.
To think like, hey, I can do a job better than another person.
Mm-hmm.
So at Bridgewater, they made a program, or every employee takes some personality test,
Mm-hmm.
and then they make baseball cards out
You're
of it
kidding
with the personality type on it.
Huh.
And all the stats on it. And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
And Ray talks about how the personality test help their employees identify who they are
Mm-hmm.
and what their strengths are and what their weaknesses are.
Yeah.
And a few weeks ago, I showed you my
Exactly.
test.
Yeah.
And so when I read this from Ray's book, I thought, I did that a few years ago, even
Mm-hmm.
before I read the book. So I agree with him 100% that people should get these personality tests. Some other people told me before that, well, that's a little scary to try to analyze yourself that objectively. But I agree with Ray that it creates synergies within your team, and it allows you to know yourself much more better.
Yeah.
Therefore, you can make more objective decisions, such as what Ray
Mhm.
talks about, and you can make better decisions for yourself.
I think that's like a big thing that like people who might be afraid of doing those tests and study themselves objectively. You can hold on to your beliefs religiously because you do not understand that your brain has certain fears and insecurities that pull yourself to these conclusions. And if you end up identifying those fears, you will become more flexible. And you're capable of change. That's a word that's like tough because
It's difficult.
change is super difficult, but you're capable of being more flexible. Like for example, like no matter what with my political beliefs, I'll always go, well, at the core, I'm afraid of this, and I don't like so. But I can humor this. I can understand why that's a good idea. So I think it's very valuable.
Yeah, it's great advice, and the whole book is like full of great advice. Ray talks about the first chapters. He talks about himself a lot, and he's also radically transparent about that. At the beginning, he says you might not be interested in this section, so feel free to skip ahead.
Wow. Okay, that's cool.
And so that's how Ray operates. And after reading this book, I became a big fan of Ray
That's
Dalio, and started watching several of his interviews.
Yeah.
Several of his interviews,
gotcha.
and He always talks about his learning, his education,
Yeah.
and his lifelong education.
I wonder if I know him. I might have watched some things on him.
Perhaps you have. I mean, he's quite a famous man, I think.
I gotcha.
And especially in the world of investing.
Yeah.
And then through this book, it's getting more and more popular.
That's awesome. I gotta check it out. I'm like, we're working on this project. I'm excited because I'm being introduced to a bunch of books I gotta read. I just gotta find the time. But you know what? I also need to find the time to make sure I enjoy some more beer and the books.
So there you have it. Outline your principles in life and work. Open your mind and become more transparent.
Absolutely.
Then everything will flow from that.
Yeah.
From your core.
That's awesome. This is another good read. I gotta check it out.
And I've been Zach.
Hey, this is still Tom.
And this is Books and Beers.
And wine.
Maybe we should change beverages and beers.
No.
Beverages and books.
Yeah, beverages and books. I'm drinking
Yeah,
orange
sometimes.
soda tonight.
That doesn't flow off the tongue anyways.
No.
Read more books and
Hey.
have a good night.
Absolutely.